Today we'll be taking a look at the Airwerx 35P Dehumidifier from BaseAire. This video is not intended to take the place of the owner's manual or other product documentation supplied with this unit. So if you've bought one of these, make sure you read through all of that before you use it. Inside the box, we obviously have the dehumidifier itself. We also have the instruction manual here, and we get 2 lengths of drain tubing. On the front of the machine, we have the control panel, and up top we have a carry handle so you can move this thing around easily. On this side of the machine, we have the output fan with, of course, a grate in front of it so you can't stick your finger in there. This machine can be controlled remotely, and the connections for that remote control are down here in the lower corner. On the back of the machine, we have all the product labeling, and down here we have the drain port for the gravity drain. And you can see there's a little rubber cover to put in place if you're not going to use the gravity drain. On this side of the machine, we have an easily removable filter. If I get that out of the way, you can see the evaporator coils here. And then down here in the lower corner is the port for the pump drain. The power cord on this machine is about 9 feet long and is set up for standard North American 120 volt operation. The dehumidifier needs to be installed in a level condition for proper operation. Now I've got mine on a level work surface here, but the machine does have adjustable feet here, so if you're working with a surface that's not level, you can lift this up and adjust these as needed to level the machine. If the machine is going to be used with a gravity drain, the first thing that needs to be done is this rubber plug needs to be removed, and then the larger of the 2 hoses needs to be inserted over the fitting. The machine should also be elevated and the hose stretched out and angled down for proper gravity drainage. If the machine is going to be used with the pump drain, the rubber plug for the gravity drain should be inserted so that no water can come out of here. The fitting for the pump drain should then be removed. And then the fitting should be slipped over the outer portion of the smaller diameter drain tube, and then the tube can be installed over the inner part of this fitting. Then the outer part of the fitting can be brought back in and tightened up. When using the pump to drain this unit, the drain tube can be elevated up to about 19.5 feet. Just like with the gravity drain, the tube should be free of kinks or any other kind of impediment that would stop the flow of water out of the drain. The machine should be plugged into a standard 120 volt receptacle on a circuit capable of supplying 15 amps or more. When the unit is first plugged in, it's not fully turned on. However, the screen will display the current relative humidity in the room. Now, the indicator letting us know that the machine is in pump drain mode is also lit. If this were in gravity mode, the light would be dark. As you might expect, to turn the unit on, I just press the button once. Now that the unit is on, you can obviously see the power light is lit and the fan has started up and everything is now working. Now, if I want to turn the unit off, I just press the button again. But it should be noted that the fan will continue to run for up to 120 seconds after the unit is turned off. And it's important to not unplug the unit while the fan is running after it's been turned off. To set the trigger point for the machine to turn on and start dehumidifying, I'll just press this arrow key and cycle through the settings. Right now that is set at 50%. And you can see when I press it, it goes up in 5% increments. If I want the machine to run continuously, I scroll up until I get to the CO mode. And this indicator up here will also illuminate when the machine is in continuous mode so that you know that it's there. But I'm going to scroll over and set mine at 50% for now. As I mentioned earlier, the machine is currently in pump drain mode. To change that, I will push and hold the drain button for more than 3 seconds. You can see with the light off, the machine is now in gravity mode. To turn pump drain back on, I just do the same thing. If for any reason I want to manually drain any water that may have collected in the machine, I'll just push the drain button once. Up to this point, I've been running the unit in relative humidity mode. I can switch this over to GPP or grains per pound mode by pressing this button. The display is now switched to measuring grains per pound, and changing the indicator here will change it in grains per pound increments. To switch back to relative humidity, I just push the button again. This machine has a temperature sensor built in. If I want to see what that temperature sensor is currently reading, I can press and hold the set and drain buttons for 3 seconds. Now the temperature reading only stays on the screen for a couple of seconds. In case you missed it, it was 21 degrees Celsius. This machine also has a temperature sensor directly on the coil. To check that, we can push and hold the set and GPP buttons. And you can see we're currently looking at 7 or 8 degrees Celsius. I've had the dehumidifier set up and running for about a day now in my 1,700 square foot cellar. And it seems to be doing a pretty decent job, although I think the machine might be just a little bit undersized for this space. Now, having said that, when I started the test, this humidity monitor was reading closer to 65 to 70%. The machine itself was also reading around 65 or 70%, and you may have seen that earlier in the video. But after about 12 hours, I was able to get the humidity in here down to about 50% on this meter, and this one seems to read about consistently 55% with a set point at 60. Now, I'm not sure which one of these meters is accurate, if either one of them is, but I've got the humidity down here in the cellar at a reasonably comfortable level at this point, so I'm happy with the way everything is working. As we saw earlier in the video, this machine also has a pump, and that seems to be working and doing its job just fine. Whenever the tray in here gets full, the pump kicks on and pumps the water out of the drain. Now, admittedly, I do have the drain running mostly downhill to where it exits the house over by the wall, although it does have to kind of raise up about 6 inches and go over the foundation wall to get outside. So there is a little bit of a hill for the water to be pumped over, and this doesn't seem to be having any trouble doing that. So my first impression of this machine is that it's doing a fine job, even though I've got it in a bigger space than really it's rated for. I'm sure it would work even better if it was in a smaller space. Now, if you're interested in this machine and want to learn more about it, there'll be a link down in the video description below. Thanks for watching.